I'm Cale Thomas. I'm a special effects makeup artist. I have 15 years of experience in the film industry, and we're going to be doing a bruised eye on Justin here. A couple of materials you're going to need that you can find at any store, local store, is some powder, baby powder, and some KY jelly, and just some typical hobby brushes that you can find at any hobby store. Also, you're going to be using a stackable bruised wheel that you can find online or you can find at a Halloween store for pretty cheap. So we're going to start off with the yellow, which is our #1 color. This is going to be underneath all of the, it's a general undertone that you put on. So you start at the corner of the eye and you work it into the brow and into the cheekbone here, and you blend it out with your finger. It's pretty basic. You're just going to want to generally start with that just on the outside. So you're blending it out. So look to your right, show the camera. The next color you're going to want to do is you're going to want to use a red or a rouge, more of a brick tone that you can substitute for cream blush, or you can substitute a lipstick color that's comparable to it. And just with a brush, you're going to stipple. You're going to hear that term a lot. So you're just going to start stippling into the to the brow line here, and you're going to create a model, which is slight stippling around the lower eye and in the corner of the eye itself. So you're just creating that bruise slightly here. So generally when the eye bruises, it can bruise many different ways, but this way that we're going to do it is more like a strike from a fist or whatever. Then you're going to want to use probably the corner of the eye here. Generally gets really dark when you break a nose. So you're definitely going to see a lot of color in here. And this is like a secondary tone. We're going to go a little darker. That'll accentuate the entire shape and the trauma to the eye itself. And don't forget the lid. It's very important that you get makeup on the lid. But we're going to do a stipple. So that's a stipple, and then you just soften it with your finger. What you're creating is somewhat of an underlying bruise pattern that's veins. Don't forget under the eye as well, it's very important. Probably gonna want a little more yellow under the eye. Like so. This is a pretty punched eye, so you can go slide it or more depending on what you want to do. This is generally more of like a second day bruise. Fresh bruise would look a lot lighter, and then an old bruise would be very, very yellow. Now it's only going to be the darkest in the recess of the eye here. So that's where you're going to model or stipple into there more of the purple itself. And on the corner of the eye here, so you can see a lot of it there as well. And in the crease of the eye itself. So if you look down, you find your crease in the mirror. So look down for me. There you go. Don't close your eye. There you go. Perfect. And you're just going to stipple on to the crease of the lid itself. Now these are cream makeups that I'm using now, so you are going to have to set this with a powder, hence the powder I showed you initially earlier. Open. There's another little cool trick you can do, but it all depends on the model. So Justin, you're going to pick a spot on the ceiling and stare at it. You can just do right on the tear line. Pick the spot and stare at it, which is this part of your eye here. And you can darken that up because when you get bruising around there as well. So look straight ahead. Perfect. You can add a little more of the model, stuff like that. Now another thing that you can kind of do is when you get a black eye, there's busted capillaries. Capillaries, you see them all over your face. They're in the folds of your nose. This is a pretty detailed brush. Once again, you can find this at your local hobby store, craft store, anything like that. So what sometimes that you can do that's pretty cool, that add a little more realism to it, is you can add some veins. And a general vein pattern is almost like a lightning bolt or a Y. Just barely imply it on the skin and then tap it down if you look to your right. You can kind of see it. I don't want to see all of it. I just want to see this part. So I'll accentuate that and tap it down. And once again, you can do a vein here as well. And some of these take practice, and then blend it out. Like that. So you don't really see it. The blending is the most important part. That's pretty much it. Now the second last part is just with the same sponge. I just use different sides of the sponge. Just use the back of the sponge, close please, and just powder the eye to set the cream makeup. Now you're gonna lose a little bit of the color on this. Don't be afraid, because he's gonna sweat and heat up. Just make sure if you're using baby powder, which is talcum, that you're not allergic to it. Some people are. And that's a bruised eye. Thanks for watching, and click on any of the links above for other zombie-related videos. And feel free to send any requests to request@mahalo.com.